I don't know how to put this question exactly, but I'll try my best. During the growth of the bubble, I feel, and we know that there are multiple factors that caused the bubble, but I have seen, I have experienced, I bought and sold a house.
We need a question.
Okay, the question is, how can the appraiser, any appraiser, whether it be in the private sector or the appraiser in the public sector, which would be even more important, I think, or maybe not, how can the appraiser control that? Or does the appraiser have some control of that?
Thank you.
The property appraiser has no control over the value of property. It used to be we wouldn't use foreclosures or anything like that. We look at comparable property we could find around the county. The last 2 years, we've had banks take properties back, foreclosed properties, things like that, and it's hard to get comps because property sits there with for sale signs forever. So we've got to do whatever we've got to do. But you look at the foreclosures, for instance, and there are fans out, air conditioners ripped out, and things like that. You've got Chinese drywall in some of these houses down in Claremont, and Dick understands that down there. But you've got all these other things we've got to take into consideration when we appraise a piece of property. And it's hard to keep everything equal when you've got all these things going on right now. But we do it, and we do the best we can. And I'm not just talking about our office. I'm talking about property appraisers' offices across the United States because of this recession we've been in. We've had terrible times. People have had terrible times, and we're trying to get out of it. But it's hard. For instance, Ms. Lee.
I think we know next question. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Next question, please. Not to be rude, but yes, go ahead.
No,
I'm just going to tell you that the appraiser, much to a lot of mortgage brokers and lenders' chagrin, does not make the value. We're simply the messenger. So the old thing about don't shoot the messenger, that's us. We're just reporting the market value of the facts as it is. We're not making it up as we go on.
Anyone else?
Well, I can tell you, the challenge is to keep up with the market when it's moving up and down. And that's why you have to have an aggressive property appraiser that follows people all the time. And it's very common that they don't keep up. And they measure that. The Department of Revenue, the Property Tax Oversight Divisions, they measure, they do their own separate audit of every property appraiser in the state of Florida. And they're very careful to ensure this is where they do the check. Every time a property appraiser turns in a tax roll, the Department of Revenue is following up on it. And I have records in my bag, if you'd like to see them after the meeting, showing some interesting problems. And I'll share those with you. But this is a challenge for any property appraiser across the state. So in a county, you can have certain properties overappraised, underappraised, and that's why you need a property appraiser that's there every day, working hard, and holds his people accountable so that your tax roll is accurate and your property is protected.
The only way to hold your people accountable is to know more than they do. I don't care who you hire. When they come in with an appraisal, you've got to be able to talk to the other side and make sure it's right for the
Okay,
tax.
we want to take one question at a time, Justin.
This is for Mr. Baker. You mentioned using satellite photography in order to get sizes of commercial buildings, etc. What would you do for a commercial building that's maybe built out of a warehouse that half of it's open warehouse flooring for construction, building roof trusses or whatever, and the other half of it is completely finished, walled-in showroom space? You would have no idea about that if you didn't send somebody out.
No, that's right. No, that's exactly right. Right now, in the bill that I passed, where they're using the aerial photography and other, it doesn't solve all the problems. For instance, if you have a residential house that's under a big oak tree, well, if you can't see the house, you have to send an appraiser out there. But where there's a clear shot and the aerial photography has a clear view, because there's a requirement that the property appraiser's office visually inspect every property every 5 years. So they have to send folks out there. 170-something thousand parcels in this county alone. Well, because of this bill, and I work closely with the Property Appraisers Association on this, because of this bill, a great percentage, not all of it, but a great percentage now can be done from the office. That property appraiser doesn't have to leave the office. He can do his work right at the computer screen. We don't have to, Orange County doesn't have a single vehicle in the property appraiser's office. Not one vehicle. Now, they pay mileage.
Next question, are we okay? I mean,
We have 9 minutes left to open discussion.
And I have 9 minutes.
I'd like to ask Mr. Baker about this appraisal record. Could you please tell us what it, since you looked it up and et cetera, and all the property appraisers, could you tell us how our property appraiser was appraised?
Well, here's the story. And
No, I
I
want-
really want to talk about what I'm
Well, you
going to
said
do for the
this,
office.
you brought it up. Could-
No, I didn't bring it up. He's twice took a little ding
Sir,
at me.
the last question you said was
well,
that you appraised
just
all
one
of them.
question, and then that's gonna, we're not gonna have follow-up
I'd
from
like
the
the
audience,
answer, please.
Okay, we'll get you an answer,
If,
Carey.
all right, I think I understand. Are you asking me, do I have the documentation showing the property appraiser made an error on the
No.
actuals?
No,
What is your
his
question?
appraisal rate, as you said you had it from all the other people.
Please, just let the candidates answer.
If we're talking about, in this case, it's a strata 1 column, which is single-family homes. And in 2011, Lake County has exceeded the state average for accuracy. Other counties did it.
Would you
but not
repeat
this-
that?
I have a copy of that.
Would you repeat that last sentence?
Single-family homes are overpraised in Lake County.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
question in the back.
Yeah, this is, I guess, for whoever wants to answer it. How do y'all feel about supporting businesses that not too long ago, I thought that my appraisal was too high on my business. And I called, and what I was told was, with everybody's appraisals going down, somebody's got to pay for it. That was the short answer.
That wasn't from my office.
It was from, yes, sir. It wasn't from you. It was not from you. But it was from your
You
office.
should have asked for me if that happened,
No.
but I don't believe it happened with anybody personally.
Okay, maybe they quit. I don't know. How do y'all feel about business is my question.
Well, if you have, let's just say, for instance, you have a hotel, and that business sells, part of that property is tangible properties, the furniture, the fixtures, equipment. Part of that value is intangible value, and part of it's real estate. So you really need to be able to separate those components out so that everything is taxed fairly. You couldn't just automatically assume that the sales price was just the real estate. You have to break it down into its components.
Let me tell you, businesses get picked on because they don't have a lot of votes. So while the homeowner is always taken care of, many times the business owner is quite frankly at the mercy of the property appraiser. And that's why we need to have a value adjustment board that is responsive to the business community. Those two citizens that I helped put on the value adjustment board, one of them has to represent the homeowners, the other is the non-homestead properties, like business, to try to level the playing field so a business has a shot at overcoming under the law, which is called a presumption of correctness. The property appraiser under the law is presumed to be correct. So and I helped do this, tweak the law to help provide a little bit of a balance towards the business owner and the property owner, and so far it seems to be successful.
Yeah, I would just like to address business because I have my own business and I'm passionate about business, and as I have looked through the tax rolls, one of the things that kind of disturbs me the most is property tax doesn't just end with just the business, because all businesses pass it along. For example, one of the highest taxpayers in this county is actually our electric company. So, and they just pass that along. So not only does the homeowner have to pay for their own homeowner property taxes, but they're also paying it in their electric bill and their phone bill. If they go into any business, get their hair cut, go to the dentist, wherever they go, they're also paying more property tax. So it's important, I think, to have someone in the property appraiser's office who will listen and understand, number one, how important business is to this community, and also how it not only affects the business itself, but also his ability to attract more customers, because if he's being treated unfairly with his business and his taxes that he has to pass on, it may prevent him from building his customer base.
Ed, did you have anything you
I was just gonna say, we've got some of the best people in our office. I've had thousands, literally thousands of compliments about the work they do. In fact, one of the compliments we got last week, the lady said, why don't you go over to Orange County, Bill Donegan, one of his supporters, and teach them how to give customer service. This is the best appraisers, this is the best government office I've been in anywhere. Those are the kind of comments we've got.
Next question.